Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary with the Get Some podcast. And my guest this week is...
This motherfucker Gary.
Hey, this episode is brought to you by Blind Tiger Coffee. Bam! Now, listen, go to blindtigercoffeeroasters.com/Gary and enter code Gary, Gary at checkout, 20% off your first order. Blind Tiger, best coffee in America. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. As always, we're going to start off with my schedule. This weekend, I'm in Hawaii, Honolulu. That's going to be September 6th and 7th at the Blue Note. We got 4 shows. And then on the 9th, I'm going to be in Kona at the Elks Lodge. It used to be an old movie theater. They gutted it and turned it into like a real performing theater. So first time ever in Kona. And September 13th to the 15th, I'm in Greensboro, North Carolina, the Comedy Zone. And then September 20th through 22nd, I'm in Richmond, Virginia at the Funny Bone. They're in Short Pump, middle of the mall. And then September 27th to the 29th, I'm in Virginia Beach at the Funny Bone. And then let's go into October. October 4th through the 6th, I'm in Dayton, Ohio at the Funny Bone. October 11th and 12th, I'm in San Francisco at Cobb's. And on the 13th, I'm in Morgantown, West Virginia for the first time ever. Never been to Morgantown, never performed there, never been there. Only connection I have with Morgantown, West Virginia is when I was in the Navy. I used to drive from Washington, D.C. to Cincinnati, and we drove right past Morgantown, and there was a Wendy's off the side of the highway. So I would get off, we'd go over this little bridge, and then I'd eat Wendy's, always to go, because we got to get back. It was 8 hours from D.C. to Cincinnati. So if I ever had a 3-day weekend, I was just rolling. But for some reason, the probably 12 times I made that trip in 2 years, we'd always stop at that Wendy's. That was like, you leave early in the morning, it was just past lunch, and we're getting to Morgantown. It was like that, almost like the halfway point from D.C. to Cincinnati. So that's my only connection. I don't know if the Wendy's is still there. It was at the bottom of the hill, because I remember at the top, it looked like that's where the university was, but I never drove to the top. So if I'm wrong, let me know in Morgantown, but I'm going to find out on October 13th if that Wendy's is still there. October 18th to the 20th, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio at the Funny Bone. And then the 25th to the 27th of October, I'm in Columbus, Ohio at the Funny Bone. All right, that takes us for the first 2 months. Now, Hawaii, on the 8th, I will be watching my beloved Bengals at 8 in the morning. That's what time the game comes on out there. It's a little early. I loved when I lived on the West Coast because all the NFL games started at 10 a.m. I thought that was perfect because even if you went out the night before, you kind of wake up. You know, when I lived in California, when I was single in the Navy, I was always like a little hungover on Sundays. But that was the perfect time because you wake up, pour some Fruity Pebbles, all of a sudden the game's on. So now I remember a few years ago when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, I went on Jalen and Jacoby, that TV show on ESPN. And I said, listen, mark my words. I was like, in a couple years, I think Joe Burrow is very close to Tom Brady in like, obviously he's not there yet with the accolades. 7 Super Bowls, that's ridiculous. But I mean, like, the way he looks at the game, the way he processes information on the field. And I also said, mark my words, in a couple years, Bengals are going to have so many white wide receivers, just like Brady did. And I said, there's a guy, there's probably some white kid at Ball State right now, don't know in 5 years he's going to be on the Bengals. And Burrow's going to make him look good. Look at their roster right now. Hold on. Team. Let me go to the roster. And let's look at the wide receivers, shall we? Now, obviously, we know we got Jamar Chase and we got T. Higgins. And by the way, as I'm recording this, he still isn't signed. So hopefully by the time this airs, and hopefully Jamar signs. I don't know what the Bengals are waiting on. You got to pay him now or pay him later, but you still got to pay him, whether it's this year or next year. And the price it's going to keep going up. It's better to sign people early because then you set the market. Because now Justin Jefferson sets the market, and the rumor is Jamar Chase wants 1 penny more than Justin Jefferson to say he's the highest paid. So you're better off signing him early. So, let me see here. Let me go to the depth chart. Depth chart. I don't know why I did this. I need to go Bengals depth chart. Okay. So, here we go. Wide receivers. Starters. T. Higgins, black. Jamar Chase, black. Andre Isabas. He ain't black, but he ain't really white either. But he's closer to white than me and black because he's Hawaiian. So I think that's closer. Charlie Jones, white. Trent Irwin, white. Jermaine Burton, black, but very light-skinned black. So, it's close. Let's go to tight ends. Tight ends, we have 5. Mike Gesicki, white. Drew Sample, white. Tanner Hudson, white. Eric All Jr., I don't even know. Oh, he looks mixed. But he's from Iowa. That's white. Mixed in Iowa is still white. I think mixed in Atlanta is definitely black. But mixed in Iowa, we're just going to say you're white. So, look at that. So out of the wide receivers, we got 1, 2 full black, Jamar and T. We've got Jermaine Burton. He's very light skinned, but I didn't think he's full black. So we'll give the over under on that. So that's three receivers that are black. I'm talking about full. White, Trent Irwin, Charlie Jones, 1, 2. Andre, we'll say he's other. We'll just go other. Okay. So we got Trent Irwin, Charlie Jones, white, and 3 tight ends that are white. So that's 5 white guys, 5 full white, 3 full black, and then you got Andre, other, not white or black, and you got Eric All, which we're not sure. But, if we say Andre's white and Eric's white, that's 7-3, bro. That's 7-3. And let me see if I can find Jermaine Burton's parents. Because he's very light. He could be mixed, too. Let's see. Let's see if I can find him. Jermaine Burton's parents. Let's look that up. American football player. Parents. Mother Sherry. Jermaine's born to his parents. Mother Sherry and father. Do we have images? We need images. And I don't see Sherry. Where you at, Cher? Come on, Sherry. Images. Here we go. There's not. He's mixed. Sherry's white. Sherry's white. Oh, Sherry's white. So he's mixed. They got 2.5. Not even 3 full. Just 2 full black guys. I told you it was a matter of time. Look it up back in January or February of 2022 when the Bengals won the Super Bowl. I won Jalen Jacoby. And I said, give it a couple years, and it's going to look a lot like the Patriots, is what the Bengals are going to look like with Joe Burrow. And now look where we're at. Bang 'em. Boom. But please sign Jamar. Hopefully by the time this airs, he's signed. But jeez, man. So I'm recording this Wednesday. We're airing Thursday. So hopefully by the time you guys are hearing my voice, Jamar signed, and we're all set to go. Because boom. Now, do I think we really need him to beat the Patriots? I'm indifferent. I think we're good. But week 2 against the Chiefs, yeah, we need Jamar. And I'd like to have him in week ones because he hasn't really been working out at training camp, so you want him to be ready. So I'm just like, what are they waiting on? Oh my God, dude. The first month is not murderer's row for the Bengals because it's the Patriots, then it's the Chiefs, then it's the Commanders, and then it's the Panthers. Bengals are definitely favored in 3 of those. The Chiefs are probably not going to be favored, depending on how the Chiefs look tonight against the Ravens, and depending on how the Bengals look against the Patriots. That could be a pick'em. I don't think the Bengals would be favored no matter what happens week 1, unless somebody gets hurt. But other than that, it could be a pick'em. It could be no line. But we'll see what happens. But the Bengals are stacked. They're so stacked this year. Ooh. I'm thinking, I always say 17-0, but I don't mean that. But I would say 12-5 is definitely realistic, for sure. So just the division's so damn tough. Jeez, oh Pete's. So, speaking of sports towns, I was in Philadelphia last week. Shouts out to everyone that came out in Helium. So as you know, I do, anybody's ever seen me live, outside of theater shows, but most night club shows, I do meet and greets after my show. So I get done with my show in Philly. It's my last show. And I'm on the phone with a relative, and I got my earbuds in as I'm leaving the club Saturday night because I just walked back to my hotel every night. And I walk back, and there's 2 ladies across the street sitting on the stoop. And I hear my name, Gary, yeah. And I just kind of gave them a deuces, like, what's up, you know? And the lady, I could hear her, but I'm trying to listen to the person I'm talking to on the phone. But the lady across the street, there's nothing worse than people demanding pictures. Not asking, demanding. Nah, you going to get this picture. And I just kept it moving. I was like, lady, I don't know you. We're in Philadelphia. I'm not stopping because you told me to. Asking, I probably still want to stop, but dang. People just have no respect for people's downtime. And I'm on the phone. And it was an important phone call. So I don't have time to stop after you demanded you get a picture with me just to stop whatever I'm doing to get this shot. And then, so I'm leaving. I'm by myself, by the way, also. So I'm walking. I'm on an important phone call with a family member. And not only was it important, it's a family I haven't talked to in a while. So I get off stage and I said, yo, I'm going to call you as soon as I get done with the show. So it's a phone call I was actually looking forward to. And this lady, she just yells, come get a picture with me. She crossed the street. She got a cigarette in her mouth, which, by the way, if you want a picture with me, that's great, but please put your cigarette out because I'm not a smoker and ain't nothing worse than you blowing your smoke in my face for a picture. Just kind of respect. I wouldn't talk with my mouth full if I want to have a conversation with you. I'd swallow the food first. So she comes over. She got the lit cigarette out, and the smoke is already coming in my face. I'm going, can you just put the cigarette down if you want the pic? So then I'm keeping it going. I heard her yelling. Like, I'm talking 2 blocks away. We gonna boycott you. You too good to get a picture. Now, here's the thing, too. I do meet and greets after my show. So I charge for meet and greets like every entertainer charges. So what you, in essence, did was you waited outside for me to leave because there's only one entrance and one exit to Helium. And you waited for probably 45 minutes to an hour for me to leave. Then you almost rushed me to get a picture because you didn't want to pay for a picture at the meet and greet. So the other people that did wait in line and was patient and got a picture and got a conversation with me, now, because you didn't want to do that, now you're going to run up on me as I leave the club, not ask, but demand a picture. And then when I didn't say no or yes. I never stopped walking. I just went like this. I just gave her a smile and gave her the deuces, you know? And then she just kept going like, so I'm supposed to stop. Whatever I'm doing, stop this conversation. I'm supposed to stop walking for you to get this picture. And I don't know you at all. And I'm by myself. Like, I know you're a woman, but that's how shit pops off too. So I was just like, nah, if you want the picture that bad, you should have kept up with my pace and kept walking. But, yeah, I just think it's so funny how if she was to tell her story, I was just rude. I was standoffish. I wouldn't say hi to her. Look, anybody that's ever run into me in public, I say hi to everybody. So doesn't mean I'm going to stop and have a full conversation because I might have stuff going on. I might be in a weird frame of mind. I might just be tired. I might just want a little downtime. But I'm always like, I'm never just blowing people off. Even that lady, I smiled at her, gave her the deuces, but I'm not about to stop. But the way she was yelling for blocks, I could hear her. Just keep walking, we'll never see you again. And it was funny because her friend was kind of laughing. So I don't know if her friend was in on it with her, but I just thought it was so rude. It was so rude. Nah, you gonna get this picture. It reminded me, I think, now I want to specify 90% of the people I run into that are fans are cool. And most people are real cool, real cordial, polite, respectful of my time, as I am when I see people out. I'm a fan of some people, some athletes or actors, but I before I would approach anybody, I kind of scope it out a little bit. Like, are they in a good mood? Are they talking to people? I'm never just going, oh snap, come up. So I remember one time I was out with my daughter. We was at the Cheesecake Factory, and this lady just sat with her phone out in our booth and had the phone out, and she goes, come on, we go get this picture. I said, I'm eating with my daughter. And then she goes, oh, this comes with it. And then her phone died. Couldn't get the picture anyways. And then she asked to use my phone. Let me use your phone. I said, yeah, you must bet your mind. You think I'm about to give you my phone and send you the picture off my phone so you got my info? And I'm not about to search up AirDrop and all this stuff. I was like, it was so ridiculous. Like, she just sat in our booth. It's just, listen, if you're a fan of somebody, this is just the people out there, and it goes for me too. If you see somebody you're a fan of, the best way is to come in quiet. Hey, how's it going? Big fan. Don't be obnoxious. Don't be like, I ain't trying to blow up your spot. You just did. So the best, be quiet, be cool. Come up to them. Hey, how's it going, man? Big fan. Or extend your hand or a fist pump or something. But don't be obnoxious with it. And here's the thing. If you ask for a picture and that person says no, I mean, that's their right. I've been turned down pictures before. I'll tell you, there was I'm not going to give his name out, but there was an athlete I saw at a nightclub. And I sat there and talked with him for 15 minutes. And then I went, hey, can I get a picture? And he literally like this. He goes, man, I ain't taking no pictures here. And he kind of looked at me disappointed. And I went, shit. I just kind of ruined the moment. Because we were really vibing a little bit, just talking. And then the minute I said, can I get a picture? In the middle of a crowded nightclub, he was like, he probably just wanted to chill and not take pictures in the nightclub. And I don't know if people knew he was out. And so I was just like, damn, I fucked that up. I was like this. And then later on, I ran into this same athlete at a golf outing one time, one of them celebrity golf outings. And I told the story to him again, and he acted like he didn't remember it. So in my mind, I'm the overthinker. I'm thinking, this guy's probably thinking, this Gary Owen, man, he's fanning out, being a fanboy and stuff. And it didn't even register with him. He was just like, I don't remember that. I was thinking, he's probably looking at me all sideways and stuff. So, yeah, just a couple stories. So I've been turned down by picks too. So I'm not the only one. I didn't take it personal. I actually understand when I got turned down for the pick that I asked for. Yeah, I was disappointed in the moment, but even at the very second that I asked, I saw the way he reacted, and I went, this wasn't the right setting. This wasn't the right time and everything. And I noticed that when I go to nightclubs, I don't go out as much as I used to, obviously, but when I do go, I always wonder that people are just, when they got their phones out and they singing a song and stuff, I go, people scroll right past that. Nobody watches that shit. Nobody watches you at a club going, it takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. Yeah, that's an old rap song, but I'm just saying, nobody is watching you sing the song. Literally, when they see it, they're going, scroll, 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 scroll. We don't care. So even when you got your bottles are coming out and stuff, we don't care. Nobody cares. We're like, oh, okay. Scroll, scroll. I want to see something funny. I want to see you interacting with people. If you're just going to show me, oh, you got 2 bottles of liquor coming to the table? Whoa! Wild! You're a wild person. Oh, you know the words of this song? Okay. Oh, my God, and your 2 friends do too. Holy shit! You guys are wilding right now. I want to party with you. It's never happened. People are just scrolling by when they see that. So I would tell people at any age, if you're going to a nightclub, man, get back into just being there, having a good time. Don't worry about Instagram and showing everybody where you're at and what you're doing. Just get back to just being in the moment, man. That's the best time. My phone didn't even come out when I'm in nightclubs. I'm like, I can't. I don't like when the club photographer comes over. Hey, let's get this shot. I'm like, oh, all right. I usually say yes when the club photographer comes over. That guy's like the photographer whisperer when those club photographers come over. So, yeah. So, anyways, what else did I do this week? I watched the Night Stalker on Netflix. You guys, I think it came out like 2021 is what I saw, but it just got on Netflix. Man, I forgot all the people that Richard Ramirez killed. There was, let me see how many was the total. And then here's what I got out of it. This dude, it was cool because they interview. If you get a chance, it's called the Night Stalker. It's on Netflix. Watch it, but let me see. I want to see how many people they know he killed, but I'm sure he killed plenty more. God, he died in 2013. He was only 53 when he died of cancer. That's so odd. You don't really hear of serial killers just passing away of cancer. Never got executed. Was on death row for like 20 years. Never got executed. Well, 14 years. Victims, 15 plus that we know of. Because I guess one thing he said was he was killing mostly in L.A., but then he killed somebody in San Francisco. And then they said when he was on his way to San Quentin, he was in the back of the van, and the detective that was right in the front with him, he said, "Hey, you know those two old people that died on Telegraph or something like that?" He was like, "Yeah, I did it," and that's when he went. The detective went, "Yeah." So all the deaths we know about, I'm sure there's so many more out there because we were just focused on. I mean, everybody was just focused on L.A. and San Francisco. But I guess he had a brother in El Paso, and he was born in El Paso. So you don't think he killed anybody in El Paso? Or went over to Mexico and killed some people? Yeah, it was like... It's pretty entertaining because it's not going from his perspective. It's the 2 detectives that was chasing him the entire time. And I didn't know. I knew he got caught, but I didn't realize... What's interesting how he got caught was they knew he was in El Paso, so they had all these undercover agents at the bus stop waiting for. No, they didn't know he was in El Paso. They thought he was in L.A. So it got announced. Richard Ramirez is the Night Stalker. His picture's in all the papers that morning. So the LAPD was like, yo, we're going to stake out the bus station. We think he's going to leave to go to El Paso because he's got family in El Paso. They didn't know. When the news broke, he was in El Paso, headed back to LA on a bus. So they're looking at everybody coming into the bus station, and here he is. He got off the Greyhound bus. And the detective goes, he made the detectives immediately because, yeah, they're dressed in dirty clothes and dingy, but their teeth are nice, their hair's clean, so they don't really look homeless unless they were day one homeless And they said when he saw him, he knew it, and he ducked into a liquor store. And then when he went in the liquor store, that's when he looked and saw like the LA Times, and his picture was front and center. And then he looked, and people were like looking at him and then looking at the paper at the liquor store. He jumps on a bus. He's sitting on the bus, and he sees somebody look and saw him on the bus and was like, got the paper, looked at him. This person, ding, pulled the little the bell on the buses, got off, went straight to a payphone. Okay, keep in mind, this is like, this is what, 85? With no cell phones. Goes to a payphone, and they said Richard Ramirez saw him and was like, shoot, I'm made. So he takes off. He's on foot, running all over the lane. He literally ran across the 5, which is like 8 lanes, on foot. And then he tried to steal somebody's car. They wouldn't. The guy fought back. And finally, people were like, this neighborhood is realizing, oh, shit. I'm sorry about that. That's the Night Stalker. And they started beating his ass. And then the cops had to come and literally save him. I was like, talk about a neighborhood you want to live in. Let me see if they say anything. I want to see what neighborhood was that they beat the shit out of him. Hold on. Capture. Okay. Okay, this is on Wikipedia. So on August 30th, 1980, Ramirez took a bus to Tucson, Arizona to visit his brother, unaware that he had become the lead story in virtually every major newspaper and television news program across California. After failing to meet his brother due to his not being home, he returned to L.A. early on the morning of August 31st. He walked past police officers who were staking out the bus terminal in hopes of catching the killer should he attempt to flee on an outbound bus, and into a convenience store in East L.A. So yeah, I saw on the documentary there was a lot of Latinos. After noticing a group of elderly Hispanic women fearfully identifying him as El Matador, Ramirez saw his face on the front page of the newspaper La Opinión, with a headline calling him Invasor Nocturno. My Spanish is so bad, and I apologize for this right now. He fled the store in a panic, and running across the Santa Ana freeway, he attempted to carjack an unlocked Ford Mustang, but was pulled out by angry residents Faustino Piñan and Jose Berjon. I'm very sorry for these Spanish names that I'm butchering right now. Ramirez ran across the street and attempted to take car keys from Angelina de la Torre. Her husband, Manuel de la Torre, witnessed the attempt and struck Ramirez over the head with a fence post in pursuit. They said this dude saw Richard Ramirez coming after his wife trying to car his car, pulled a post out of the fence, probably a broken down fence. That's when that adrenaline kicks in. You grab something. Just pull. I'll put it like this. What's the name? If I am Manuel de la Torre, I say, hey, I saw him. I saw the fence. I pulled the fence up with my bare hands. I took the pole. And I beat the shit out of him. That would be my story as I got older to my grandkids. I'd be like, nah, that fence was in the ground. I pulled that post out. That's the adrenaline. That's how much I love your grandmother. That's what I would say. God, I know he got topped off that night. He got knocked off without question. When you capture the Night Stalker, you beat the shit out of him because he tried to carjack your wife. Let's talk about the real. Let's talk about how Angelina de la Torre was giving Manuel the Haktua that night for show. If any night your wife's going to do whatever you want, she's going to swallow, take it in the back, whatever. Oh, Manuel got it that night. That's what we're not talking about. Tell me, any female listeners out there, that a serial killer tries to kidnap you, steal your car, and your husband comes in with a fence post out of nowhere and beats the shit out of him. What you doing? What you doing, ladies? I don't do anal. Oh, you do anal tonight? Oh, yes, you do. I saved your life. Guess what? Oh, Angelina got it that night from Manuel. So, a group of over 10 residents, including Jose Bergion's sons, formed and chased Ramirez down Hubbard Street in Boyle Heights. They soon restrained Ramirez and relentlessly beat him. At around 8 a.m., police were called over a disturbance in the area and with few details with indications of a fight. Police quickly arrived on Hubbard Street and took a severely beaten Ramirez into custody. So, yeah. That's pretty much, they said El Paso, it was Tucson, who knew? But, you forget, what? I didn't know this. While awaiting trial, Ramirez reportedly met actor Sean Penn, who was jailed for 33 days in 1987 for reckless driving and assault of an extra on Colors. I didn't know Sean Penn got arrested for that. Claimed to receive a letter from Ramirez as a fellow inmate, to which he wrote back telling Ramirez he had no sympathy and hoped he died in the gas chamber. Ooh, Sean Penn's a real one. Here's the thing, though. The guy was like a sex symbol when he went to trial. There were so many women sending him naked pics, and you can see he's got very striking features at that time. He's thin. His eyes are kind of sunken. They're deep. So I can see women going nuts, but it's still weird knowing that you'd just be another victim if you got with him. And let me see. Oh, what is all this? By the time of the trial, Ramirez had fans who were writing him letters and paying him visits beginning in 1985. Dorian Leoy wrote Ramirez nearly 75 letters during his incarceration. In 1988, he proposed to her. And on October 3rd, 1996, they were married in California's San Quentin State Prison. For many years before Ramirez's death, Leoy stated that she would commit suicide when Ramirez was executed. By the time of his death in 2013, Ramirez was engaged to his 23-year-old writer. Yeah, so much for that. Let's see. Yeah, so his body was not claimed, it was cremated. So he just died of cancer. Even in his last mugshot is 2007. I mean, it's just crazy. It's crazy how there's just crazy people walking amongst us, and we don't even know. Can you imagine how many people walked by Richard Ramirez, never had a clue? They interviewed this librarian on the show. And he said he always came in, and he always felt a little uneasy, like, oh, that guy's something's up with that dude. And then when he saw it in the paper that he was the Night Stalker, he said, dude, he just stomach dropped. He was like, no, that's the guy who used to come to the library all the time. It's just crazy. You just never know, man. There's so many crazy people out there. Hey, this episode is brought to you by Blind Tiger Coffee Roasters. Now listen, go to blindtigercoffeeroasters.com/Gary. Enter code Gary at checkout, 20% off your first order. That's blindtigercoffeeroasters.com/Gary, 20% off at checkout. And we got the Florida Man, Bam, this blend right here. Only 100 bags of it. Once it's sold out, it's gone. So it's a limited release. Make sure you grab this. I wake up to it. I also like this one, the Columbia. Yes. If anybody knows coffee, it's Columbia. All right? So if you're in the Florida, Tampa area, stop by one of the actual Blind Tiger coffee shops. Delicious pastries. They got lattes. Oat milk's my personal favorite. But yeah, stop by. But if not, just go to the website, blindtigercoffeeroasters.com. And don't forget to tell them your boy sent you, Gary Owen. Blind Tiger Coffee. Best coffee in America. So, speaking of serial killers, let's just transition. Another show I've been watching that I know I'm late is Mayor of Kingstown. If you haven't seen this show on Paramount Plus, it's worth the subscription to Paramount Plus. It's just good. Jeremy Renner is like an ex-convict who's now, I don't know if he works for the cops or he works for the prison. He's just a guy that knows and does everything. And brothers are cops, and it's showing how the prison really runs the town. It's this small town in Michigan that basically is, their livelihood is the prison. Kind of like Tuscaloosa's University of Alabama. If the University of Alabama left Tuscaloosa, there'd be nothing left. That's the vibe I get from this show. Like, the prison left, the town will go under because this is all the money. It's kind of like all the jobs are kind of based off the prison, whether it's bail bonds, cops. There's the drugs. It's just a lot. It's just a good show, and Jeremy Renner's in it. Let me tell you about Jeremy Renner. I watched this show 20-some years ago. Let's see. Season 1 was 2003. Yeah. It was called The It Factor. And if you get a chance to see it, and I don't know how you can watch it at this point, it's so good, and there were so many people in it that weren't stars at the time. They were all different levels. But, let me see. There was 2 seasons. I only watched the first season. But Jeremy Renner was on the first season. And he was a struggling actor. And he was living in an apartment. His, like, at one point his lights was turned off. He had a dog. And he did Dahmer. He did this, like, independent film Dahmer. And that literally is what blew him up. And you saw what happened on the It Factor. And then Lisa Ray was on it. And she had, like, made a name for herself off the Players Club, but her career kind of took, like, a little lull, which happens. And then right after that, she ended up getting on a TV show. But it followed her. Who's this girl? I remember this girl, Crystal Harris. She from Anderson. Yeah, I know where Anderson at. Yeah, she kind of got out the business. Yeah, this girl just did. Last thing she did was Touched by an Angel in 2003, and then she did a video, Katy Perry, last Friday night. So she's. Oh, is she a singer? Hold on, let's see. The soundtrack. Okay. Well, yeah, she kind of just is not in the business anymore. I remember her, and what I remember most. Let me see if I can find this guy's name. Because basically they follow like 6, 7 people that were in the entertainment business trying to break it, but did they have the quote-unquote it factor? It says Godfrey was on it. I don't remember Godfrey. Where's the guy that was on 8 Mile? He was on. This is why I remember this guy. Such a sad story too, 8 Mile. I'm gonna get his name. He was on the It Factor, but he wasn't on that roster just now. Let me see where's the cast. The reason I remember this guy is from Dayton, Ohio, and he committed suicide. And I thought it was so sad. Here he is, D'Angelo Wilson. 1979 to 2008. So when this was on the It Factor, this guy D'Angelo Wilson, he had just gotten 8 Mile and Antoine Fisher. So in 8 Mile, he was one of Eminem's guys, and then in Antoine Fisher, he was the young guy when they would do the flashbacks with Derek Luke. He was the young guy in Cleveland that was robbing the convenience store and then got murdered when the guy shot him after he tried to rob him. God, he was only 29 when he died. It's so sad. So, when I used to watch It Factor 21 years ago, as I was watching it, I was like, he introduced himself. He's from Dayton, Ohio. I go, oh shit, Cincinnati guy. Whenever I hear somebody in my area, I lock in. So I see him, and then, he does 8 Mile. He's Antoine Fisher. I go, he's on his way. And then he wasn't anything for a while. And then all of a sudden, I saw him in like a Sprite commercial. I was like, and when I saw it, I go, oh snap, that's a Sprite commercial. That's old boy from 8 Mile and stuff. I saw him again. And then I didn't hear from him. Then when I found out he died, he like hung himself. It was so sad. In like an abandoned building. And he just was depressed because entertainment, man, is not for the weak of heart, because you can get so much so fast. And I'm sure in D'Angelo's brain, 8 Mile and Antoine Fisher, 2 amazing movies that he had great parts in, but he didn't get anything for a little while after that. So after Antoine Fisher, so 8 Mile was 2002, Antoine Fisher is 2002. Then he did Rush, a TV movie, and then did 1 episode of CSI New York, was in The Salon in 2005, did an episode of The Shield in 2006, and then did this, a movie came out in 2012 he was in, but he had already passed away. So yeah, he probably thought, oh shoot, I'm going now. My career's off, and then Entertainment's a big roller coaster. Jamie Foxx told me when I first got in this business, it's the biggest temp job on the planet, because once you're done with the project, whether it's TV show or movie, you're out there hustling for more work. The people getting offers is less than 1% of our business. Most of us are having to audition, or we're waiting on a phone call for somebody to call us. But there's the people that are just like working actors, actresses that have like numerous scripts, and they're just trying to figure out which one they're going to do, but they know they're working. That's less than 1% of our business. Most of us are either auditioning, or like in my situation, I just kind of I wait on the phone calls come out of left field, or I meet with a director or producer. But I'm lucky I'm a stand-up because my financial livelihood is not dependent on movies and TVs. So I just felt so bad. Let me see if I can. I want to get his story straight, since I kind of had some misinformation on Richard Ramirez. Well, I had the right information. It just was, I said El Paso, it was Tucson. He died on November 26, 2008 in Los Angeles, California. Dang, that's my son's birthday. Not the year, but that date. Let me look up how he died. Wilson. It was sad when I heard about it. Born in Dayton, attended University of Cincinnati and Kent State. Dang. Wilson died by suicide by hanging in Los Angeles, 2008. So the story that I heard was they found him in like an abandoned building. And dang. It's just sad, man. Just sad. Because he was talented. He was a talented cat. So, yeah, so if you watch 8 Mile or watch Antoine Fisher, just look for him. Look for him. It's just sad. So, I don't want to end this on a sad note. Let's check out what I just heard. I heard the original Batman got banned from Aspen, Colorado for sleeping with too many women. I didn't know Adam West was getting in like that. And Idaho was Idaho. Aspen's Colorado. What was Idaho? Hold on. Where was he banned from?
What?
Was it banned Batman? Hold on.
Yeah.
Partied hard. What was he? Was he banned? Oh, yeah. West once partied so hard, he earned a 15-year ban from Aspen, Colorado. You ever watch the original Batman? Adam West? Let me see. When asked what happened, West was only willing to divulge 3 key elements of the party: women, liquor, and police. West could not return to Aspen for 15 years. He eventually received a letter from the city authorities allowing him to return. Oh my God. In his heyday, West allegedly once had sex with 8 women in a single setting. Or in this case, according to West, I remember one night with 8 different women. Sex party is a harsh word, but it was 8 at one time. It's commendable West didn't toss around words carelessly, but it's hard to call experience sex wrong. On some levels, that sex seems physically impossible. Then again, the man was Batman. I don't know if I want 8 women at the same time. Even like in my heyday, that's a lot. There's no way you're satisfying all of them. 8? At the same time? What? Are you an octopus? How's he doing that? You're just nipples and. You gotta have somebody with an IV right there, and this is like before Viagra. This is probably in the 60s or 70s. Oh my God. I don't do coke, but I don't know if coke makes you hard. I don't know if he's doing coke. 8 women at one time? Come on, Batman. But he is Batman. And that was a different time, man. Back then, you could do all that and nobody found out unless you told them. However, something else goes our Frank Gorshin. Hold on. Once a person achieved a certain amount of success, they probably see lots of parties. Even though, okay. Yeah, there was Navigating a room at a sex party could prove tricky, both emotionally and physically. Yeah, you don't ever want to see your girl sleeping with somebody else, you know? However, after filming on a sex party with co-star Frank Gorshin, who played the Riddler on Batman, West knew exactly what to do. Gorshin immediately went into character as Riddler, and West became Batman. They made people laugh so much attendees threw the actors out of the party. Nothing kills a vibe like a goofy Batman and Riddler. So, wait a minute. It was a sex party, and they went into character? So you really thought a woman wanted you to be the Riddler as you're sleeping with her, and he wanted to be Batman? I'm Batman. That's some freaky shit right there. All right, well, yeah, let's end on that. Batman got banned from Aspen, Colorado for sleeping with too many women. How is that even possible? How do you do? He probably slept with the sheriff's girl. That's what it was. The only way you get banned, you had to sleep with somebody in law enforcement or a politician's girl. That's it. Or their daughter. One or the other. That's the only way you get banned. That's a lot, though. That's a lot of women. That's a lot. I don't think I ever heard that. All right, y'all. Well, look, I'm in Hawaii. To all my Cincinnati Bengals fans, it's time, baby. It's time. Will you see me next week? Woo! We better be 1-0. Hopefully Jamar Chase is signed by the time this airs. And the best time of year right now. I was at a neighbor's house recently. We had a Labor Day party. And my neighbor said, and he goes, it's my favorite holiday. I said, Labor Day? He said, yeah. He goes, gotta think about it. The summer's almost ending, so nothing wrong with, in Houston, the heat's different. So he goes, once Labor Day hits, Houston starts to cool off a little bit. We get that good fall weather. And then he said, and football's back. After Labor Day, football comes back. I'm like, oh my God. I never thought of it like that. I'm just thinking a couple barbecues. He goes, no, you got to realize what's coming. Once Labor Day hits, the weather starts getting better if you're in the South in Houston like this, and football's back. I was like, oh my God, never thought of it like that. Smart. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. This is Gary with the Get Some Podcast. Who Day. Let's go, Cincinnati.